Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbana zidna ilman. Rabbana zidna ilman. Rabbana zidna ilman. Allahumma inna nas'aluka ilman nafi'an wa rizqan tayyiban wa 'amalan mutakabbalan. Amin ya rabbal alamin. So welcome to a brief class on irregular sarf. This is the form called Mahmooz. Probably one of the easier forms and therefore one of the best to start with. So Mahmooz, which means basically it contains a hamza, is when the hamza is any root letter. And there are three different types of it, depending on if it is the first, second, or third root letter. And if you were to use the word fa'ala, then basically it mirrors this, being fa the first letter, ayn the second letter, and the lam as the third root. So respectively it's called Mahmooz al-fa when the first root is a fa, Mahmooz al-ayn, and Mahmooz al-lam for the second and third roots. So it causes irregularity in two situations. Otherwise it's pretty much the same when it comes to conjugating it. So the first irregularity is when two hamzas come together. The Arabs did not like the sound. Two hamzas right after another didn't work out very well. And the second irregularity is when a hamza and alif come together. So let's explore this. So with regards to Mahmooz, in forms 2 through 10, or the abwab or wazn of 2 through 10, it only affects forms 3, 4, and 8, which simplifies things. And with regards to how it affects form 1, we'll get to that in a moment, inshallah. So form 3 is on the pattern of fa'ala or jahada, and the past tense is a hamza and alif, which can turn into an alif medda when writing it. So you can either write it with the hamza and then alif, or with just the alif medda, which will replace both of them. So akhadha, and then the command form is akhidh. And with form 3, only the past and command tense are affected by Mahmooz. All of the rest, it behaves the same way as a normal conjugation. So form 3, there's in the pattern of af'ala or aslama. The past tense has two hamzas, so it smooths out with the elongation, right? Instead of it becomes a. And again, you can write it with the alif med or the hamza and alif. And notice as well that when you have this, it depends on the letter before the hamza. So the letter before the hamza is an alif fetha, or a alif with a hamza below, or alif with a dhamma. Then the hamza after it will either turn into an alif itself, mirroring the haraka before it, or a ya or a wow, mirroring the dhamma. So for example, when you have amana, right, it'll turn into amana, and you can write it with the alif medda or with the hamza alif. In the second example we have here with the hamza below, it goes from I to E. It basically just smooths out with an elongation using common sense, right? So, for example, with the masdar of this word, it becomes iman. Instead of iman, it becomes iman, right? And the hamza with a dhamma, when you have the passive form of the past tense, from amana, it becomes umina. Instead of umina, it becomes umina. Hope that wasn't too confusing. I think that what I have written here is a better explanation than how I can verbalize it. Alright, form 8 affects all conjugations. It's on the pattern of ifta'ala. So the hamza fuses with the ta of form 8, and it creates a ta with a shadda, right? For example, using the root akhadha, it becomes ittakhadha yattakhidhu, and so on, following that pattern. And notice as well that with form 4, the past tense and command forms are identical to form 3. Now with regards to form 1, it will affect the present ana or present I form. So the double alif becomes an alif medda, right? Instead of kudu, it becomes kudu. And the command form as well, if it has the hamza in the second root, Mahmoozul ayn, then it would leave you with a basically unpronounceable word, se'al, right? So in that case, we just add an alif in the beginning, like usual, turning the command form, which is pretty normal, is'al. Or there's another option as well, which is where you just remove the hamza entirely and it just becomes sel. And one more example here. So the ism fa'il. The ism fa'il here with akhirun, it can also be spelled with the alif medda, and the command, the fil amr. So you take the present tense, drop the ya, then drop the alif and hamza, you go from ya'kulu to just kul, like the previous one with sel. For a little bit more practice, try taking the following words and conjugating them yourself through the sarf saghir. If you want to make up your own words, you can just go through any kind of dictionary like Hans Ware and just go through the sections that start with an alif or have an alif in the middle and so on. You can find a lot of examples to do some further practice on. Barakallahu feek. I hope that this is beneficial to you, and may Allah increase you in knowledge and grant you mastery of Arabic language, and grant me that as well. I mean, let's end with Al-Fatiha. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.